Herman Schrader on the Dirty Mo Media platform from the middle of America in St. Louis, Missouri starts right now.
Everybody's in St. Louis.
You know what?
Yeah, right.
Charlie, we're getting the hang of this. I like it. Now when I do the intro, Schrader knows he talks. That's the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah, we're getting the hang of it. We just spent a half hour so you guys could talk me through how to turn my damn computer on and get to the screen.
Charlie, go get him an Apple computer, and that way we all three have the exact same thing. Now, our friends at Dirty Mo, they meant well, but we all just got different equipment. So,
well, my main problem with this equipment is I don't know what I'm doing. So I'm not sure a different piece of equipment will help that problem.
You know what's crazy about this is years ago, Dale Jr. was famous for building his own damn computers. And I'm thinking, we will never do that.
Building his own computers.
Yes.
I was asking you earlier, how do I shut this damn thing off? Every week when we're done, I just close the lid on the little box.
Yes.
Because I don't really know how to stack it. Well, when I open it back up the next week, the battery's empty. I plug it in an hour before. And usually I've been seeing you, but this time it didn't work so good.
Kenny, I do the same thing. And there's no doubt this is a generation situation, because our age are like, turn this damn computer on. And the other kids are like, let me build you a computer.
I want to do like Ron Drager does with ARCA. I want to be able to pick up my phone, dial 10 numbers, someone answer, or when I see their name, I answer it. That's all I need to do.
Yeah, I hear you. And then everywhere we go now, like we went on that cruise, Kenny, and even the cruise ships now, they make you use your phone and they make you use the app to do everything. So society's got it to where, I mean, if you go to Busch Stadium now, I mean, you can get a paper ticket, but Charlie, you know this, all of our sports now, they hardly have ticket windows. Now they got the ticket windows, Kenny, but you go to a Blues game, all that, it's like, you got to have the app on your phone. And it's where we're at now. So we're just a bunch of grumpy old men. So
I'm not grumpy about it. I'm just not going to do it.
Right.
It's okay.
Okay. That's okay. I like that. Who was it actually?
It's Josh Carroll.
Oh,
call him back in a little bit.
And that
had a successful opening weekend at I-55 Raceway Park now, Federated Auto Parts Raceway Park, where I guess we're going into this. I'm putting this in this.
No, I was about ready to say.
Where we had a
What did you do this weekend?
Yeah. Well, I did same stuff you did, basically. 2-day World of Outlaw Sprint Car Show, Federated Auto Parts Raceway Park. Josh and Nikki Carroll, the new owners. And, Friday night, we ran little B mods with them. Saturday night, we ran the A mods. We ran both nights. You were a crew chief one night and ran the second night. Phenomenal weekend. I mean, the track was smoother than it's been in 10 years. It was great. Friday night show was unreal. Saturdays was good. The track changed a little bit. Second half of the race got a little more bottom dominant, but just an excellent weekend. And I can't imagine. I mean, like I said, we had that place 30 years. Know what that weekend involves, and for that to be your opening show and pull it off was great.
Yeah, we got rained out last week in the home opener at Federated Auto Parts Raceway Park.
The
was
home opener. That sounds like baseball.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be farewell to Kenny Schrader and Ray Marlar. And I agree with you. It's like, okay, the very first race at the racetrack is the biggest race, besides the Ironman, I guess, What is the biggest race there,
The
Kenny?
Ironman weekend, which is first weekend of August, Friday and Saturday. World Outlaw Sprint Cars,
Yeah.
along with midgets.
I won't add to anything you said, except I have some questions. First of all, I want to say yes, I had goosebumps. It was so good both nights. All the motorhomes everywhere and the aerial views. But so you and your wife are there, you and Ann. But I noticed Ray Marlar, your partner. How old is Ray right now?
Ray's 86.
Okay, he's 86 years old.
Yep.
And you guys decided to sell the racetrack. And Kim and I got on the trike and we did some testing and we rode on down and we saw Ray and Sue like on, say, a Thursday or a Wednesday, whatever it was. Mm-hmm. And Sue came out of her home right there at the racetrack. And I said, Sue, how is Ray doing? Is he going to be able to do this? So my question to you is, how are you four doing? Because Ray was trying to work. I went to talk to him. He goes, I got to work on this lineup.
Yeah. Oh no, Ray was working. He's Josh and Nicky have been great as far as it's hard for Ray to walk away from there. He still likes to do stuff, but he's got everybody's good. We're excited that it's in Josh and Nicky's hands because they're the right people for the job, and they just swung right in there, made improvements, made some changes. We couldn't be more excited for them, and we're there to help them anything that we can. But also a couple of them phone calls, when he calls and hey, what about this, and then when you go, how we have abbreviations for everything,
Yeah.
well, and then it's NMP. What's NMP? He said, not my problem. you bought it, buddy.
Oh my God.
But hey, no, it was great.
And I really like it. It's kind of like a smooth transition because everybody, all the locals, obviously you said the B mods, were on Friday and then the A mods on Saturday. I guess we still need the compact cars, the sportsman cars, but everybody sees you and Ray and your wives there. So they know it's a feel good transition. And I think
everybody, we made that real clear to everybody that, this is all good. Well, I only ever run there 4 times a year, maybe. Yeah. So we're going to hit it. We hit it last weekend. We'll hit it this weekend. And then, we might be there a couple more times this year, but we just don't stay in the St. Louis area. We don't go to the same place all the time, I'm talking more than normal, but
I like it. I'm learning.
I was so friggin' aggravated for, the first half hour that I want to feel better and tell one joke.
Oh, you're going to tease us.
I'm going to tell one joke.
Please.
Now I'm going to go with the difference between beer nuts and deer nuts.
It's already funny. What is the difference?
One, the beer nuts are like $3.99.
Yeah.
And the deer nuts are under $1.
Best joke ever. Oh my God. That was good.
Mark Hendrick keeps sending them.
Oh, thank you, Mark. Thank you, Mark. Yeah, that is good stuff. But you got another one. You're going to tell it later?
Oh yeah, I don't want to shoot. I don't want to blow everything at once.
Yeah. Okay. That was good stuff, Kenny. And what did I do? So as you said on
spun out in front of us and almost. Well, go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt.
No. We're going to talk about that. But we got to go. What day? So Friday, I decided to go all in and help my wonderful son-in-law, Brody. I have 3 wonderful son-in-laws, Jacob and Justin and Brody. Brody's the racer. And Brody's building, Fusion outlaw carts, and now box stock. Just a little girl and the dad picked up their box stock on Sunday, yesterday. So Brody's now ventured out into box stock. That means regular go-kart motors, go-karts but with wings on them. Brody gets invited to drive a B-mod on Friday night by Dan Werner. And Dan Werner is the owner of Bobby Regal's car and Rick Knoyer's car. Now, Brody Pompey, my son-in-law, is a really good modified racer and did race modifieds. But out of nowhere, him and his family said, we can't afford this anymore. And they just turned the lights off. And that was it. So Brody did really good. And he run 5th in the A main and was going to run 4th. And you guys had that white checkered. And so Brody ended up 5th. And he's a gamer. And Brody's starting to get more popular in St. Louis because all the locals realize, he's the real deal. He can build anything. And so congratulations to my son-in-law on Friday night. And I crew chiefed the hell out of that car. So that was fun. Okay. On Saturday night, I'm starting 3rd and they drop the green flag and I go down into turn 1 and spin out.
Did you spin all the way out or just get sideways?
I got sideways and Jim Black finished me off, but it was my fault. The great thing about leaders like you and I, we blame everything on ourselves to make everybody else feel good.
Oh no.
So I was sideways, but it was my fault for a lot of reasons. Number one, I like you all, I had a very hard right rear tire on, and I did not do a good job getting that thing right because we got new rules in place. We can't groove them. Well, grooving saved my butt because if I grooved an M60 right rear and I sighted, I didn't need to soak it. A lot of the locals soak those 60s, but I can't do it because if you soak a 60, if I get caught soaking a 60, my ass is going to jail. So I got to get better getting my 60s readier.
They have never checked one. They never check a tire.
Cost too much money.
Them days they quit doing that stuff.
Oh yeah.
I didn't have a 60 iron. I had a 30 iron.
Damn it.
Which was wrong.
You
but
think it was?
For the first 7 or 8 laps, it wasn't wrong. I don't know if it was wrong. I don't know if it was wrong.
Well, I told Brody, I said there were so many cautions that I think I could have run a 30. We were running 3 laps.
We did not have. No, you're not thinking right. We did not have any cautions. We started the race and had 2 restarts. Okay. And then, or am I thinking about Friday night? Yeah, Friday night we run 18 laps without a yellow. Whatever.
Wow. But anyway, it was great racing. I spun out, and Kenny Schrader taught me something, Charlie. And I want everybody to remember this. It's not how you run. It's how you place the blame.
Right. Yeah, it's not if you win or lose. It's how you place the blame. I'm
starting 3rd, and I'm coming to green. I'm like, oh, I'm in trouble because my right rear it won't grab. I can feel it. So we go down the front straightaway, and I go into 1, and the guy on my outside, he's a good runner, and he's doing good. And I'm thinking, okay, well, he don't see me because I'm not next to him. And I go in there, and he kind of comes down, and I'm like, oh, I'm going to hit him in the door. So I start applying brake, and I'm loose, and I get dead sideways. And my buddy Jim Black, who's a great racer, he finished me off, and that was all my fault. Well, then anyway, I recovered to finish 4th. And but yes, I was the idiot that spun out in front of the field. And Kenny, I want to say this. Good thing you were behind me because you missed me.
Yeah.
How hard was it to miss me?
I hung a right real quick. I said, I don't know who's on my outside, but I'm coming over.
Thank God.
Because hopefully they could see what's going on.
Yeah. So anyway.
I think maybe Jacoby was beside me. I don't remember who was beside me.
Yeah.
But anyway, we've spent a lot of time talking.
I get to bed at 1:48 a.m. No problem. Get to bed at 1:48 a.m. because you got digital clocks. It's that picture. Oh, 1:48, I'm going to bed. wake up at 5 and meet my buddy John Scatoni spends the night here, and we meet in the kitchen at 5:32 a.m. We're running about 5 minutes late, and we get in on his SR22, and we get to Bristol, and we had a wonderful time at Bristol. We did Trackside Live, and of course, it was standing room only. It was a hell of a show. Kenny, we had Johnny Bench, the great catcher from the Cincinnati Reds. He was good. And then we had Chase Elliott. We had Austin Dillon and Kyle Busch. So that was my weekend. And okay. I like the new Kenny Schrader where you're really really good at this now.
I'm maxed out now. It's yours the rest of the show. Because
no,
I didn't because of racing Friday and Saturday, and yesterday we had 20 federated customers from throughout the country out at the racetrack, and they got to drive, and Logan Schuhart, who ran second Friday night in World Outlaw Race and won.
Yeah.
Saturday night, stuck around, and him and Mark Miner took the two-seaters out and gave rides. So everybody, after they drove, got a ride, and then we had dinner with them last night. So I didn't see yesterday's race other than I know that, as Bloomquist would have said, Larson gave him an ass kicking.
You know what? I try to put NASCAR to the end, but let's go ahead and talk about it. I want to say something. I love my sponsor. Obviously, I love Sunoco and Jegs, but your Federated Auto Parts, J.R. Bishop, man, they do it right. You had a suite. I mean, talk about great timing for you. You have all your customers there up in that suite, and then they see it all. And then on Sunday, how many did you have that you gave rides on?
We gave right at 20.
And they were from all over America.
They were, and Canada.
Wow.
Yeah, Western Canada.
Yeah.
Okay. You used to race there. They were from Calgary. There was one from Calgary. Because remember them guys would run the ASA race at Calgary on a Saturday night and then haul butt and make it to Slinger for Monday, but that was a long-ass tow. I don't remember how.
Yeah.
Never made it. But anyway, they were all over, and it was neat.
Yeah, well, that's great sponsorship application. I got a sponsor, and is that all I do? Kenny Schrader, in my opinion, is the epitome. The money that you've invested in your trucks, trailers, your car. How many cars do you have?
We just got a lot of junk. But
two-seaters, single-seaters.
We got a lot of junk.
Okay.
But anyway, the race.
Yeah, we got a lot to talk about. We really do. So we'll buzz through it all here, so to speak. All right. As you said, I got some stats here that are going to blow us all. It's going to make us drop our jaw. Okay, Kyle Larson dominates the race, guys. He leads 411 of 500 laps. Now, that's not the crazy one. In the last 2 races at Bristol, Kyle Larson has led 873 of 1,000 laps. That is why the races at Bristol are a little ho-hum.
Yeah. I'd have to go back, though. I mean, that's phenomenal. But I'd have to go back to the old Cale Yarborough stats and DW stats.
Oh, my God.
Because I don't know if that... not that it makes any difference, because they're all... I mean, it's phenomenal. And, the number of cars, the competition level has raised up more. But when you compare them, if we had a statistician.
Charlie, what year do you think, Kenny? 1978?
Well, I don't know. When Cale Yarborough record and DW records at Bristol, because, they were stout.
So I like what you're saying. It's an innuendo that, and this is my new fun this year. I've warned everybody. Back in my day, the leader had 3 laps in the whole field. But now we got 34 cars on the lead lap in some of these races. And, we had 8 or 10 on the lead lap, but, people want more at Bristol. But back in the day, we only had 3 TV channels. We didn't have a cell phone. And if anything happened, everybody was jacked up. They were excited. Hell, when it rained back in the 70s, rain's coming in. It's going to rain. Everybody'd start running around. And so now it's just so hard to entertain people. But all right, Kenny. So Kyle Larson dominated. Those stats were crazy. Here's another stat that's getting really interesting. Denny Hamlin, in his last 3 races, he wins Martinsville, he wins Darlington, and he runs second, about a second behind. So, even though Kyle Larson dominated, it's not like he run away. So Denny kept pace with him somewhat. And so Denny Hamlin is on a hot streak.
But that's not a surprise.
No, it's not.
Denny Hamlin's always good.
Yeah. Okay, so for the ones that I really like too, Ty Gibbs, god-awful start, And the thing with Ty Gibbs is, Grandpa Joe Gibbs owns it all. So, the mean people are like, that Ty Gibbs, they need to fire him. It's nepotism because his son's not doing any good. Well, that's 2 top 10s back to back. So Ty Gibbs, god-awful start to the season, has come to a screeching halt in the last 2 races. Ty Gibbs, top 10 at Darlington. And Kenny, he ran third. Ty Gibbs ran third yesterday on a tough track.
Did I read Gibbs cars were second, third, and fourth?
All of them in the top 10. And Chase Briscoe is in there. He run fourth.
Yeah.
So it's Denny Hamlin second, Ty Gibbs third, Chase Briscoe fourth, and crazy Christopher Bell, you would think would be second to Denny, but he ended up 8th in the race. So all God. 4 Joe Gibbs cars in the top 8.
Well, there's nothing surprising about 4 Gibbs cars running like that, or the Hendrick cars running like that, or either one of them winning. Or the Penske cars, both all running good. It's how competitive it is. It's 1 week you got that little extra special, and next week maybe you don't. But I mean, they're still all right there all time.
Yeah, I'm going to acknowledge you, fans, and I don't know about Kenny or Charlie. I'm going to acknowledge you, Kenny. You and I have been busy because we have a life, but the fans are going bat crazy right now. They hated the race. Get rid of the racetrack, get rid of the car. And I'm like, hold on. I'm going to say this, and then you say what you want to say. You just said last week, listen, all these races are not going to be like our first 5. Our first 5 races, they was tied at the start-finish line. I'm exaggerating. But, I mean, to ask for every single race, Kyle Larson is on a roll at that racetrack.
Yeah, I mean, a 1 second lead at Bristol, a 1 second win. Pretty damn close, And when was the last yellow? When was the last yellow at Bristol?
Oh my God, I think they went 200 laps. That was the problem. So that was listen, I want to say this. I want to defend myself. And I'll tell you when we get off the call here, very high-end people texting me. Adam Stern is on it, and Adam Stern has his buddies. These are high-level people in the sport. And they're the ones texting me all this because they want me and you to talk about it. And I'll tell you who these high-level people are. The fans are furious. So I don't know if Bristol can have another one of these nice races like you and I like. But these high-level people, they're listening to the fans. Jeff Gluck took this deal. 88% of the people hated the race. And they dared me to talk about this. And I said, I'll do it. I'll talk about it because we're not babies. I still think I appreciate Kyle Larson's domination. And I even asked Kyle Busch before the race on Trackside Live. I said, Kyle Busch, do we have to wreck to have good races. So I've said my fill. And, what do you have anything to say about a nice, clean race at Bristol? Or does Kenny Schrader want to see wrecking?
No, I think it goes back to it's hard to make the public happy. I'm not talking about race fans. I'm just saying make the public happy. And we're all public, it's hard to make people happy anymore. He used to talk about, Bristol was a terrible race years ago. One lane, right about on the bottom, bump somebody 2 or 3 times, and finally knock them out of the way. Most time in the trickle deal, I hit them, but they decided to wreck. Well, it's because you couldn't save it because you were marbles and stuff.
Rick Mast.
Yeah. So anyway, that was a terrible race. Then they reground it, and they got one they could run 3 wide around their top or bottom, and there weren't as many yellows. Well, that's a terrible race. So I don't know. Yes, if there's people that want to see 20 yellows because of 20 wrecks, well, I'm sorry. I'm glad they're at the races, but maybe they need to go to a demolition derby instead and not be disappointed with the cup race, because that's wrecking, that's not racing.
Man, do I love you. And Charlie, that's the edit we were looking for. I set him up, and that's it.
Well,
that's what we're looking for. That's good stuff. That's right. You're right. I agree.
Yeah.
I said on Coffee with Kenny, racers like that race. We make pit stops, green flag pit stop.
You're telling me at the end of that race was a long green?
Did we have 2 cautions? I think we had Van Gisbergen early. Listen, I didn't watch the race either because I was flying back. But you get on X, you watch the whole damn race. It gives you all the information you need to know.
Okay, and then so we had a long green run, and the winner wins by 1 second.
Yeah. Yep.
Pretty damn close.
Yeah. So we love the fans. You all are awesome. But here's what they want. They want just a little bit of wrecking. Because here's the problem. If you run a good race and at the end it's a photo finish, you know what they say? The whole race was boring until the end. I'm like, come here. Let me choke you.
Yeah. No.
Yeah. So, okay, Charlie, we did it.
It's all good. I'll tell you one thing I did see. I saw just a little bit yesterday. And, you can always... What we've been seeing in our sport as far as TV viewership and track attendance.
Yes.
Creeping up.
Yes.
Creeping up. It was better. It was better than a couple of years ago. It was, noticeably better. It's creeping up.
An executive picked me up at the airport because the airport at Johnson City was close to his hotel. So it's like, okay, the executive is going to go ahead and pick Kenny and John up. John Scatoni, my friend and pilot. And he goes, I'll pick Herm up because he's right there. Not a runner does not pick us up. And that high-level executive said, man, these are the best ticket sales for this race in years.
Mm-hmm.
So even though, remember everyone, it seats 150,000 people. So before you start saying there's empty seats there, well, there ought to be.
Yeah, there ought to be.
There ought to be.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So, there was a lot of people there, and it was Bristol, and we're going to deal with it, and we're not going to ignore the last 5 photo finish races. We're not going to let Bristol determine our whole year. And I get pissed off. It just pisses me off that people just judge every damn. The baseball Cardinals outrun Philly 7-0 yesterday, and I thought it was a great game. It was awesome.
How many people was that a home game?
Yeah.
How many people does the stadium hold?
Charlie, this is the point in the show where you come in. What did you tell me before we started this show about, just tell everybody and Kenny how bad the Cardinals are doing attendance-wise?
So I think, by the way, Busch Stadium, 46,000. Maybe they can get to 48,000 with standing room, and they have the ballpark village. But I went to the game Saturday, and it was the only game they lost in the series, and not good attendance at all for a really nice day, Saturday afternoon game. And I was really struck by the fact that how cheap parking was. Going the last couple of years, the lots close to the stadium, maybe spending $60, at least 40. The lot that I usually park in was $30. There was lots that were about $10, pretty close to the stadium. And I think that shows how few people, and it's obvious from watching the games too, but man, Cardinals fans have been apathetic for a couple years now, and they are not showing up. And Wilson Contreras kind of said yesterday, he pleaded to the fans like, hey, we're playing hard. We're going to compete. Come out and watch us.
Yeah. It's not just Cardinals. It's not just Bristol. It's just sports in general have been weaker.
And I'm going to say it, fans are spoiled rotten nowadays. They want everything.
We all are.
Want everything perfect. If it's not Monster Jam and the truck's doing backflips and the snowmobile's doing backflips, it just aggravates me to no end that everybody just, the Cardinal fans, I'm pissed off at them too, because they want the owners to spend millions of dollars on new players. And meanwhile, you got the Dodgers over here. You cannot outspend them because they got, they're on a roll. But so, yeah, I guess the moral of the story is we had to tell everybody, look, it's not just racing, Kenny, and you're right.
Well,
Cardinals,
we've been going up. We've been going up just a little bit, but we're going the right direction.
Right. Okay. We gotta show our respect, because every once in a while in life, when somebody dies or passes away or we lose somebody, it's like, whoa, knew this guy in passing, but holy moly. So Jon Edwards was Jeff Gordon's PR man for 30 years. Jon Edwards had a massive effect on people. I know his face, and he said, hey, Herm, one or two times in my life. Kenny, do you know Jon Edwards?
I didn't really deal with Jon a bunch. I know that anything you needed to know, you could go to him. Yeah. And just always just heard great things about him.
Well, he sure did make a positive effect on everybody's life in racing. And, Kenny, you've taught me a lot. You're a good man, and you've taught me, go to funerals, show respect. I'm usually just afraid of that stuff. It's not that I don't respect. I'm like, I don't like the smell of anesthetic in a hospital. It all just, and it has, I'm sad. I'm like, oh man. But my point is this: when I die, I hope people say half the nice things about me.
How in the hell are we talking about dying?
It's the biggest story in NASCAR this week.
I know.
Jon Edwards died, and and Victory Lane, and it's all they talked about.
No, I didn't. No, I didn't mean. I knew we were talking about Jon, but now.
Well, like people say, my thinking is off-centered. I'm way different than everybody. I see things way differently than the normal person. I'm different. I'm off-centered, and
it's okay. You are. If you thought you were normal, then you would be screwed up. But you're okay because you're screwed up.
Right. And you taught me that, and that makes me feel good about myself.
Because I'm screwed up, but I know it.
Yeah, you're like the opening of this show says, Schrader, you're weird too.
Oh yeah, I never disagreed with anybody.
Okay, you and I, Kenny Schrader, had a massive that boy, Mike Helton. I go into the garage area, and I go into the garage area because they got all the any driver or crew chief that were part of the Aaron's sponsorship. They wanted to take a picture. So I would have not went in the garage area. I was just, let's go home. I watched the race on TV. So I stay there longer than I want to, and I go down and we take the picture. But I see Mr. Mike Helton, the president, used to be the president of NASCAR. Mike Helton loves Kenny Schrader.
And buddy, he's got me out of trouble a couple of times.
What's great about it is he's he fined me 10 grand and then reduced it to 7,500, and he's taught us a lot. So I see Mr. Mike and I go up to him. He's sitting by himself. I assume everybody's afraid of him, right? Because he used to be the president. And publicly, I'm going to announce what Mr. Mike Helton told me, because Mike said, you need to tell NASCAR this. I'm looking at him like a dog. My ears went, aren't you NASCAR, Mike? Mike Helton wants Kenny Schrader, Dale Earnhardt Jr., and myself. See, we're doing these trackside lives at SMI tracks. Mr. Mike Helton has asked me to my face to get Kenny Schrader and Dale Jr., us three, once a month. He wants us at the ISC tracks, and he wants us out at their NASCAR, at their tracks once a month. And he wants us three to gather 2 other drivers, because he said the NASCAR alumni at Darlington last week, he said he just sat there in amazement. He said the stories are so good, so funny. He talked about Randy LaJoy and Jeff Bodine. And so I am the delivery boy, Kenny Schrader. And hey, NASCAR, Mike Helton said, Mike once, and of course, Jim France and Mike, they started this, the alumni. But Kenny, what do you got to say back to Mike about that?
I'd love to do it. I still got a job.
Yeah, we got to work.
Got to work for a living. No, I heard really everybody had a lot of fun at Darlington. That was neat. I needed to go. I should have, but I still, dumbass, think I ought to be racing.
See, I did the same thing. I got the text from Amber Wells, and I pulled a Kenny Schrader. I said, Amber, thank you so much for inviting me to the NASCAR alumni. I went last year, but I need to race Granite and Pevely because they're paying $700 to win each night. And
some idiot's going to get it. Some idiot. I can go over there, and it won't. If I do things right, it won't cost me but maybe $1,100 to go run that race, and I can win $700. I can block somebody else from getting that $700 if I show up, and that way I only lose $400. So I really need to go get that $700.
Yeah. We don't need to go to the NASCAR alumni, the sport that made us everything we got, but we're dummies at times.
We need to go. And it's neat what they're doing.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Okay, so Dale Jr., I'm calling you out. They're going to watch this show down at Dirty Mo Media. And Mr. Mike said, you need to tell NASCAR that once a month we need to do this NASCAR alumni all together. I'm assuming 5 or 6 of us at their trackside live, because it might as well be the Macon County line. You got ISC over here, and you got SMI over here. And ISC, they got their own shows at their track. So Mr. Mike Helton wants Kenny Schrader and you, Dale Jr., Kenny Schrader, and myself to head this up. So I've done my job. Anything else to say?
Yeah. Did we find out how Kale and Daryl did leading those? I mean, how many laps Daryl won how many in a row there?
7.
7 in a row.
So
okay.
Daryl won 7 straight from 81 to 84. Kale led all 500 in 1973 at Bristol. Cale also led the entirety of a race at Nashville in 1978. And then, of course, we've talked about Jeff Burton, the other driver at New Hampshire, leading all the laps.
So, I mean, you know how big a Kyle Larson fan I am. I mean, huge. And it's different now, but it was, everybody had the same stuff then, too. Same rule package, at least. I mean, they all had to work under the same rules, but 7 in a row.
We need to get rid of Bristol. Darrell Walter won 7 in a row.
Well, Larson's won 2 in a row, and it's no good no more.
You see this new societal shift, though? That's one of my words. Society. The Cardinals didn't hire. That's the thing with the Cardinals, the baseball Cardinals. The owners didn't spend millions of dollars on players. So that's the thing in the city of St. Louis, Kenny. I know you don't pay a lot of attention to baseball Cardinals.
None. Yeah, none.
But Charlie, I mean, is that the story, Charlie, that we're not buying players, so we're going to not go to the games?
Oh.
Yeah, I think with the Cardinals, though, not to get real inside baseball, but the fans are very disappointed with John Mozeliak, who runs the baseball ops, and he's stepping down after this season, but they wanted him to step down before. So they don't like the overall trend of the organization. Can I just say real quick about the racing, though? I think one of the reasons maybe fans did not like Bristol is you did have 3 straight short track-ish races where there was dominance. I think it's kind of weird, though. Like, if you have the dominant race and then the wrecks and then the photo finish and they're sprinkled in, I just think that if you go back to Martinsville, you had Denny Hamlin just dominated. Then Darlington, you had William Byron dominated, didn't win. And then Kyle Larson dominated and won. I think there was just 3 straight weeks of domination. And yes, with short attention span theater, people they want a little more something different, some more passing, some more wrecks, whatever it is.
Switching subjects. These are things that I saw, and it just makes me go, huh? Kenny, when I was down in the garage area, I saw Jeff Gordon, one of the greatest race car drivers of all time. And I know, and you know, Jeff Gordon didn't really want to race a lot. All he wanted to do was run Cup. He didn't want to go run dirt races. He didn't want to do any extra activity. And we got inside stories to prove that Jeff just really did. He wanted to go to the race and go home.
Yeah, and he did that really good.
The greatest of all time.
Well,
of that era. I'm sorry. That era. Okay. It surprises me that he is all in at Hendrick. He's in the pit area, holding racing conversations with the executives. I saw Jeff Gordon more like a Ricky Rudd or a Bill Elliott. All I'm saying is this. I got no criticism. I'm just saying I never saw Jeff Gordon going into the TV booth, then quitting TV to help Mr. H out. But this Jeff Gordon is like a real executive, and it just shocks the hell out of me. You were closer. You worked there. You drove there. What is your thoughts on Jeff Gordon, really a major executive at Hendrick and at all the races?
I asked him about it a couple years ago, and I said, what the hell are you doing? He said, man, I just really, first off, him and Rick are, great friends and business partners. I mean, he's family very much. And he says he just really, really enjoys that side of the business. Hey, you know what? I really, really enjoy running my dirt car. So that's what I do. He really enjoys doing that. So, I mean, I think it's great.
So do I, and I thought it would be a great conversation because everybody will say, well, what's Ricky Rudd doing? What's Bill Elliott doing? Hey, Herm, what's your brother Rusty doing? And it just is a pleasant surprise that Jeff Gordon, for his whole career, just wanted to get in and out of the racetrack, and this is not, this way it was. And so it's good.
Our sport's no different than anything else. It's just the retirement age is different. You know, these
Yeah,
guys don't
true.
retire, get out of the car, and it's going to be younger and younger. But I mean, I don't know how old Jeff was when he got out, but he was in his younger
42.
40s. Okay,
42.
younger 40s. So I mean, you can't. I mean, he doesn't want to. It's not like you're retiring from a job at 65. There's a lot of years to fill in there. You know.
I like what you said. You're 42 years old. You're retired from NASCAR. What do you do? Just sit around? You got to create a life.
He's doing whatever the hell he wants, and
Yeah.
that's what he wants to do. So it's great.
Yeah, and he looks good doing it. He's got the Rick Hendrick little armless, sleeveless coat on. Looks like mini me, Rick.
Yeah. He's gained a little weight.
He's gained a little weight.
Filling the vest out. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Well, I thought that was just good conversation. Okay. This one's big to me. Breaking news in the garage area. I'm going to read it and I want you to respond. I'm going to read it verbatim. Ben Kennedy, who basically owns NASCAR, of course, Jim owns it, but you got Jim Lessa.
We don't know who in the hell owns it. The France family.
Okay. Ben Kennedy, who is basically a France, says giving Rockingham Speedway a Cup Series race once again is on radar for sure, per an interview with the Charlotte Observer. And here's what Ben Kennedy said about Rockingham. You want to see how it does the first few years, and then if it's successful, it's something that we'll put in our consideration set. What do you think old Bob Sargent's thinking right now? Your partner.
Yeah, our partner. They give him a truck race, an Xfinity race, and an ARCA race for this coming weekend. Truck is Friday, ARCA and Xfinity. Is that Truck's Friday, ARCA, and Xfinity is Saturday.
Yeah.
And they didn't give them those thinking that we'll just throw them a bone and, give the track something to do. Who knows? And we don't have to worry about it because we got to get through this weekend first. But, I think Saturday was close to sold out. Friday, good tickets. I mean, you can still get tickets and stuff for Friday, but the city. I mean, we're going to what do they call it? A big thing in the city of Rockingham Thursday night. A downtown
little, celebration Thursday night. Marshall Tucker Band's going to be there. Y'all come out.
Yeah, we're going to do stuff at track Friday, but. Yeah, I would think it's got to be under consideration.
My comment on Cup maybe coming back in 3 years to Rockingham per Ben Kennedy is history repeats itself. And Kenny, I want to go back to Darrell Waltrip. Darrell Waltrip winning 7 in a row at Bristol. You and I both know there were grandstands on the front stretch and the back stretch. And I guarantee you there wasn't 40,000 people there.
There was more people this week than there was any of those races, for sure.
Right. So,
you say history repeats itself. We ran Bowman Gray this year. How many years ago? So, yeah, big, huge difference there.
So history.
The years between Bowman Gray 2025 and the last time NASCAR was there, which it was that 73 or something. It was that Bobby Allison race where they didn't give him the win and stuff, which they finally did. And, Rockingham was not long ago at all compared to that.
So we've gone back to Bowman Gray. We've gone back to Wilkesboro. Only makes sense to go back to Rockingham. Track must be in decent shape. What, they repaved it, Kenny, a year or two?
They've repaved it. I always liked Rockingham. Rockingham. You learn to like real quick. It's like when we leave Rockingham, it's like, oh, we won't be at Rockingham anymore. It's like, oh hell, we got to go to California. I mean, the sport it's just a different time in the sport. We were adding all these new places and stuff. So it's neat to go back.
Coffee with Kenny yesterday. I did a little fun from the Johnson, Tri-City Airport of all the airplanes. And you just made me think about that. In our day, we run Daytona. And where would we go, Kenny? We got in our cars and we drove to Rockingham, Martinsville, Atlanta. And then it was that year, late 90s, where they added, California Speedway, Chicagoland Speedway. We really ventured out. And although we liked airplanes, you had to have them, when we started venturing out. But yeah, so just wanted to add there that those 7 in a row by Darrell, there wasn't 40,000 people at the racetrack, but it was great. So I'm thinking of Chocolate Myers right now on Sirius XM. You people that think it was so great back in the day, Cale had 3 laps on the whole field at Dover.
Well, I wonder how many laps Dale won by them. Won those races by. I mean, it was big. But
yes,
whatever. It is what it is. It's different then. Hopefully, and it won't happen. I'll never say anything won't happen. But our sport won't go back to leader winning by a lap. And the only way that's going to happen is some goofy friggin' fuel mileage race, where somebody makes it. Everybody had to pit and somebody made it or something. But then because a tire fall off, they'd be running so slow. Who knows? But our finishes are a lot better now than they used to be.
Yeah. Okay, switching subjects, everybody. Our other partner, our ex-owner of the Macon Speedway, Macon, Illinois, was owned by Tony Stewart, Kenny Schrader, Bob Sargent, and myself. I'm going to set it up because I think it's important. Tony Stewart's win in NHRA Top Fuel at Vegas, the 4-wide track, it makes it now Tony Stewart has won in these cars. Tony Stewart has won in NASCAR Cup, NASCAR Xfinity, NASCAR Truck. He's won in ARCA. He's won in IndyCar. He's won in Sprint Car. He's won in Midgets, Silver Crown, IROC, SRX, NHRA Top Fuel Dragster, NHRA Top Alcohol.
Yeah, if you do the IndyCar and the Cup deal and the Top Fuel car, he matched the record of one other person.
Oh, hold on.
Whoa.
Hold on.
IndyCar.
Oh, Cup. I know who. Jon Edwards. I'll be damned.
Yeah.
Jon Edwards he did run, was it Top Fuel?
He won a Wally.
Wow. That is badass.
Yeah.
Gosh, Jon Edwards. Damn, I miss him.
John was a sweetheart.
I'll never forget, Kenny. Jon Edwards came to NASCAR and we ran, I don't know how many laps it was. Was it 500 at Rockingham?
492.
Okay. Rockingham. We run this race and our ass is hurting, and me and him run, 20th or whatever, and we come in and the race is over at Rockingham. He gets out of his car, I get out of my car, and Jon Edwards looks at me and he goes, "If I realized it would have been this long, I don't think I would have come to NASCAR."
First time I went to Rockingham, we went there, we were 6th or 8th in points. I don't remember which one. As a rookie, didn't know. I mean, we went Daytona run 11th, went to Richmond run 14th. Might have been 8th in points, and we qualified maybe 8th at Rockingham. And I thought, this is going to be a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be harder than this. They dropped green flag. Them guys are passing me on both sides, scared the hell out of me. How in the hell I qualified where I did, don't know. They're past me. Finally, I'm 25th, and I'm just getting in line, and there's nobody around. I'm like, whew, I can breathe. I run 40 laps. I'm having trouble holding my head up. The engine blows up.
Thank God.
Man, I was in trouble. I was in big trouble. We hop in the pickup, and we're in Tennessee someplace when Neil Bonnet passed Harry, or Harry passed Neil off of 4 in the last lap. And I said, I could not have done that. I could not have raced that long. And my head was, would never made it. So I dreaded going to Dover, because Dover was, they say, it's just like Rockingham. I said, oh no, I don't want to go. But up there at Dover, we qualified like the middle, but there was cars you got to pass and cars that passed you. At Rockingham, I was just getting passed. I wasn't passing nobody. So it's a whole lot harder to race when you're getting passed all the time. Because you're looking in your mirror and forward.
Yeah. So I agree. Jon Andretti was a badass, and thank you for that great reminder. So you pleasantly remind us that Tony Stewart is a badass, but Jon Andretti done it. And but congratulations to Tony Stewart. I know
that's good.
We talked about it, and incredible videos. He's got his baby boy now, Dominic, and Leah Pruitt. He marries her, but I always try to have fun in life. And there's this old saying that I love. It says, "Your life will not change until you change your life." And look at Tony Stewart. I mean, holy moly! I mean, he's like, "I'm out. Goodbye, NASCAR." And Kenny Schrader, he created a whole brand new life.
Yeah. Still, he changed direction. He's still just racing.
Yeah. That drag racing is way different, though. It is. I mean, I know it's still racing.
They don't have to turn.
Yeah. God.
We had some drag racers yesterday. We had one. So we always ask, anybody done any racing? And they said, oh, yeah, race a lot. So what do you race? He's drag racing. So we have turns. Very important. Got to turn at the end of that straightaway.
Yeah. So congratulations, Tony and Kenny. I think, and Charlie, we've done it all, but I want to give a shout out to somebody. This will be the third time I say I went in the garage area. The pit carts nowadays are just, stupid. I'm telling you, oh my God. I want to give a shout out to Ray Hilliard. Ray Hilliard works for Champion Tire and Wheel. And he saw me and he beelined to me and he says, I love Herman Schrader. And I said, well, that's really nice of you. Thank you. I said, what do you do? And he said, I work at Champion Tire and Wheel. I said, oh my God. And, you and I know about him, but just wanting the fans to know, Ray Hilliard showed me some pictures. Kenny Schrader, they have 50 and showed me a picture outside the Bristol Motor Speedway, like on a Friday, for the truck series, the Xfinity series, 50, count them, 50 tractor trailers and over 70 employees. And people talk about what it costs, jets and airplanes. These pit carts, they're like small apartments.
Yeah, you know what? We used to haul, because they haul the tires and wheels. They haul the pit carts. We got crash carts again. I mean, because you can fix stuff now. But we used to haul every bit of that in our 48-foot trailers.
Yeah.
So is it better now? I think not.
No. And you know me, I'm a bad boy every once in a while. NASCAR is as bad. I know you're not involved in this, but I am. When I look at NASCAR, they've got to bring their generators because they got the lines cut in the racetracks now, and they got a whole scoring and timing. They got their hospitality truck and trailer, their office truck and trailer. So we've done it to ourselves across the board. Everybody's out of hand.
But the generators for all the timing stuff and that's making our sport bigger.
Yeah.
The fancier pit carts is just making our sport more expensive. Of course, we are putting sponsors up on top, so that's a good thing. Doesn't make any difference. Any place we save money, we're going to spend it someplace else. But I want another thing. Schrader Racing, we lost a buddy this week, Shardy Balcom. When I started driving the for Hendrick, Shardy was over there, and Shardy'd been sick for a little bit, but he was a sweetheart, old school racer, and I mean good. I got to tell real quick. I run for him at Concord one time, and we didn't have radios. And I'm pulling in the pits on a pit stop, and I see this. Let me find my thing. I see this. He's holding these up to everybody, and coming down pit road, and he makes sure I see that.
3 fingers.
Yeah, and so they come up, they put the right side up, they change tires, drop it, run around the left, and change tire. And after, when Jack drops, you go. Afterwards, I asked him, I said, so what's that mean? He said, 3 tires, left front's okay. Yeah, we're not changing the left front.
And that is a good story because in 1984, I watched Harry Hyde do the exact same thing to Jeff Bodine's winning car at Martinsville. That number 5 Rick Hendrick car. Took it took that left front and just kept. It would come off. They'd soak it in water right away, and it was just, there's in short, that is a famous name, Shorty Beaucamp. Yeah,
Shorty Balcom.
For sure,
good guy.
Okay, this is the end of the show. So, do you have our last joke?
Oh yeah. I want to make sure I tell it right. Another one from Mark. Okay. 3 golf clubs walk into the bar. The bartender asks, "What do you have?" The putter orders a beer. The wedge orders tequila. But the third one said, "Nothing for me. I'm the driver."
Cliche.
That's all I got.
That's a good one. Yeah, but I'll tell you what, that first one was really good. Under
$1.
All right, everybody. We say it after every okay, quickly. Go ahead, Rockingham. We're going to Rockingham. Herman Schrader, you and I are going to be on the same commercial flight going down.
Street Festival, Thursday night.
Marshall Tucker Band.
Yes. Racetrack Friday.
Yep, 2:00. Everybody is going to Rockingham. Maybe not everybody, but I'm promoting the sport, everyone.
There's going to be a whole lot of them at Rockingham. There's going to be a whole lot of people at Rockingham.
Are we sold out, Kenny?
I bet you. I think the Saturday race you'd have to call, but bet you and this is, I don't know the statistics, but it would probably be the largest crowd for a standalone Xfinity race of the year.
Exciting.
Standalone. No cup there that weekend.
Yeah. We Googled it. We know it. It fits 32,000 people. So that's a lot of people. All right. We say it at the end of every show. If you want to see Kenny Schrader's beautiful face and Charlie Marlowe's, Herman Schrader's on YouTube. But also we're over there on Dirty Mo Media podcast. While you're driving around the United States, you can listen to us. Until the next Herman Schrader show.
It's next week, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
We'll see you later, everybody.
All right, guys.